Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. My name is Lisa Weir. I am the CEO of Oneupweb. And with me today, I have two other Oneupwebbers, Carly Wojcik, who is our Director of Marketing here, and Maureen Michaels, who is our Director of Social Media.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. This is Carly. That was Maureen. Thank you for joining us. There's our faces and our contact information. If you have any questions after today's broadcast, be sure to, you can send any of us an email, a tweet, or you could call us if you're feeling old-fashioned. A couple of exciting announcements for this year before we get started. This is actually, I believe, the 14th month now that we've run the Digital Roadshow. We haven't done it every month, but we've been running these for 14 months. We've decided that we will continue this series in 2011, and it will continue to be free. So that's something we're committed to.
But we do accept donations.
Definitely. Keep tuning in. The other thing that I want to draw people's attention to is the Digital Roadshow microsite. You can see the URL there. It's digitalroadshow.oneupweb.com. We've got a redesign coming to that site. It should be up in February, so be sure to check it out. Also, new for this series in 2011, we're looking to bring in some guest presenters. Some of those will be some of our clients who can share some of their case studies and success stories. But we're also open to your suggestions as well. So if you have topic or speaker suggestions, you can send them to me. My email is carly@oneupweb.com. And on Tuesday, we launched a new website. Woohoo! So cruise over to our website, oneupweb.com. Check it out. Be sure to let us know what you think. We put a lot of work into it. We're really excited about it. But of course, it's very near and dear to our hearts. So we'd like to hear your thoughts.
And the good and the bad. We appreciate the good comments, but if you run into issues or you see something that is puzzling to you, let us know.
Send me the good, send the bad to somebody else. Also, last but not least, we will be hosting a virtual event, a virtual trade show in May. That will be happening on May 4th. It's going to take place from 8 a.m. until 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you're familiar with or have attended an event like this, it is virtual, so you can sit at your desk, but it's complete with an exhibit hall, keynote speakers, tons of presentations. The name of the event is Be Relentless 2011, and it really is geared towards everything you need for marketing success in 2011. So we will have numerous vendors there. They will be also speaking on everything from traditional marketing tactics to event marketing strategies. And, of course, we'll be presenting on numerous digital marketing topics. So watch your email. We'll be opening registration to the public very soon, and we'll be sure that all of you are aware of that. Next up, of course, this series is really based on your questions. We really set out to answer any questions that you have. We pick the topic and schedule the time, and then from there we really gear the content around answering your questions. So most of the slides that we're about to go through do just that. So any questions that we received in advance of today's show should be answered. Also, we encourage you to submit your questions today during the event. You can do that three ways. Go to the Digital Roadshow microsite. You can send us a tweet on Twitter. Adam, I believe, is manning our account today. And you can also use your GoToWebinar question function, which you should see on the right-hand side of your screen. So without further ado, let's get started.
So our topic today is precision targeting. That could mean a lot of things. In the case of this webinar, we're going to specifically talk today about Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn, and not with the social media slant, but more with a paid search approach or a paid advertising approach, and some of the options that you may choose to engage in within each of these social media channels. And there are a lot of options, and we hope to sail through this today. There's a lot to cover. We're going to go quickly through it, and hopefully have some good time at the end to answer some of your questions.
We're going to start with Facebook. This is by far the most popular question that we receive for this series, no matter what the topic is that we've selected. Everybody wants to know about Facebook and with good reason. So we're going to talk about the opportunities that advertisers have to target their buyers on Facebook with paid advertising opportunities. So we're going to go over what's possible, and we're also going to talk about how much it potentially is going to cost. The first screenshot that you see here, this is actually my Facebook wall. So most of you probably have a Facebook page and are familiar with this area. You can see to the right, circled in red, those are what Facebook calls marketplace ads. Most of us are probably very familiar with seeing these ads. They can appear on any dashboard page. So if I go to Lisa's page, I can see these advertisements. If I'm on Maureen's page, I can also be served these advertisements. The important thing to note about marketplace ads is that you will not see these ads on the home page. We're going to get into ads that can appear on Facebook's homepage, which is also more familiar to most of us as our news feed. These are premium ads that you can run on Facebook. Obviously, premium meaning they're going to appear on the homepage, so they offer a little bit more engagement than the marketplace ads. They will appear above the fold, whereas marketplace ads can actually appear below the fold. And of course, they cost more money than marketplace ads. I think the other thing that I actually just left out as far as marketplace ads go, premium ads, is that you can actually interact with that ad without leaving the page that you're on. Marketplace ads, if I am on my wall and I click on an ad for Oneupweb or Ben & Jerry's, that ad is typically going to take me away from the page that I'm on. The premium ads I can typically interact with right there on that same page. So whether the ad is geared towards getting me to like something or request a free product sample, I can do it right there without actually leaving the page. And here's a good shot of the difference between premium and marketplace ads. On the left-hand side, you can see the premium ads. I know it's a little bit hard to read. And on the right-hand side, you can see the same ad. This is a marketplace ad. So again, what would appear on any of the dashboard pages in Facebook.
What's the primary difference between the two?
The biggest difference, if you look right here, is I can see in a premium ad, before I've interacted with it, which of my friends actually liked that ad or liked that brand or who interacted with that ad. So it's a little bit more personal, whereas with the marketplace ad, I can't see it. I can see how many people may have interacted with that ad, but I can't see which of my friends would have interacted with that ad.
Right.
So here's the most exciting part about Facebook, or so I think, as far as paid advertising is concerned. It's pretty sophisticated. Facebook targeting is really based 100% on the information that a user puts in when they're setting up their profile. Or, of course, I could go back and edit my profile. So if I lied about living in Tokyo, I'm going to be served ads from advertisers who are targeting people who live in Tokyo. Now, hopefully a lot of people don't give misinformation when they're setting up their profiles, so this is accurate. The other thing to point out with Facebook advertising is that it's not search-based. So these ads are not being served based on what I'm searching for within Facebook, which is what a lot of us are familiar with as far as Google paid search campaigns. That's really what we think about. These are all targeted towards the user demographic. 3 big categories that you can use to target in Facebook are location, demographics, and also likes and interests, as well as connections. So we're going to jump into those right now. A little bit more about location targeting. You can target users by country. You can select up to 25 different countries. You can also narrow it down to specific states or provinces, and you can narrow it even further to cities. And I think an important thing to point out about the city targeting is that you can do a broad or an exact match. So if I am looking to target, for example, Marquette, Michigan, here is what's up on the map. That's a relatively small area. Maybe I want to serve my ads to people within 10, 25, or 50 miles of Marquette. In Facebook, I can opt to do that. I don't have to. I can target it just to Marquette.
Well, I'm guessing in Marquette, if you added 50 miles to it, it wouldn't change the population much.
It might, a little. But so that's a good thing to point out, because not everybody needs to be so specifically targeted to one exact city. Moving from there, demographics. This I really feel is where Facebook, this and the likes and interest categories, takes the cake, as you can see here. You can target users based on their age. Again, they offer a broad and an exact match. So if I only want to target people who are 43 years old, I'm going to exclude anybody who is 42 and 3/4, and I'm also going to exclude people who are just turned 44, or I can do a broad match where I'm going to actually include those people who are just outside of that parameter. You can, of course, target by gender. You can actually set up ads to target people just on their birthday. So if I'm a retailer or any sort of business, really, where I want to offer a specific discount to users on their birthday, I can set up paid advertising to do that. I can also target ads based on people's interests, whether they're interested in males, females, or both, their relationship status, languages that they have listed, education, and workplaces. And I think a really cool thing to point out about education, the education segment in Facebook, if I decide that's something I want to use, I can actually choose whether they are college graduate, in college, or in high school. If I'm going to target college graduates, I can be even more specific and choose graduates of a specific school, or I could choose graduates with a specific degree. And then also those who are in college, I can choose those who are attending a specific school, have a specific major, or are slated to graduate in a specific year. So you can get
it gets pretty specific. And if you're familiar with Google paid search, which a lot of people use, and it's a great channel, and certainly a lot of people are successful on it. This, though, however, has a lot more granularity associated with it. You can do a lot more targeting within Facebook. I think it's going to take the audience a little while longer to become as accustomed to paid search ads or paid ads that appear on Facebook, but it's a powerful channel, just really almost as powerful as Google at this point.
Absolutely. Quickly to go through likes and interests. This, of course, the like button you can see here on this slide. I'm sure we've all used the like button at some point, and that, of course, is being stored in your Facebook profile, in addition to the things that you enter. So if I enter specific types of music or books or television shows that I like, an advertiser, a marketer, can actually target me based on those specific likes and interests. If I'm somebody who wants to target users who like The Weeknd on their birthday and offer them a specific discount on that day, I can do that in Facebook. So it's really quite impressive.
Just remember, as time goes on and you're liking and liking more things, Facebook is knowing you better and better.
Definitely. The other unique thing is connections. You can target users who are connected to a specific page. So, for example, if I wanted to target users who like Nike, I could. An event, a group, or an application. You can also target users who are not already connected to a specific page, event, group, or application. So if I'm an advertiser and I want to go out and solicit people who don't already like or connect with my brand on Facebook, I can do that with paid advertising in Facebook. The other thing is targeting users whose friends are connected to a specific page, event, group, or application. That makes sense?
Yeah. Hopefully this really clears it up for you.
I actually think that the ability to target users whose friends are connected to a page, event, group, or application is a really useful tool. What is pretty much true is that people can take recommendations better from friends than they do from brands. And this is a way for you to really capitalize on that. If you have someone who has already gone out and proclaimed that they like your page, you can market that to their friends in the hopes that they'll see that and say, oh, Carly likes that. Maybe we like the same movies. I should check it out. So it's just another way to drive people back to your page that will probably go there because of that recommendation.
Yeah, absolutely. Most important question, will it break the bank? We obviously started out talking about marketplace ads versus premium ads, and all of the targeting that we talked about is available with both options. The minimum spend for marketplace ads, so the big exception is you're not going to be running on Facebook's homepage, is $1 a day. If you want to run premium ads, you're looking at a $25,000 a month minimum commitment. You can set up a daily or a campaign budget. So if I decide I'm going to run a campaign for a month, I can determine that I only want to spend $10,000 on that campaign. If I spend it all in 3 days, my campaign is over with. Or if I want to set up a daily budget, so I want to say I don't want to spend more than $500 a day no matter what on Facebook, I can do that. It is set up on a bidding model, so you can set your maximum bid, and you can also choose to pay for impressions or pay for clicks. So you can choose to pay for the number of times your ad was actually served or the number of times your ad was actually clicked on. And of course, it depends on your purpose, what your goal is with the campaign that you're running in Facebook, why you determine one or choose one over the other. Most important part with any ad campaign, but particularly with Facebook and really geared toward the fact that everybody wants to know how to grow their business with Facebook, you have to know who your audience is. We just cruised through a million different targeting options on Facebook. Obviously, the better you know your customer base, the better you know your buying audience, the more targeted your campaign will be, and the better chance you're going to have to get those users to convert. So you also have to know what you want the outcome of your campaign to be. Do you want them to like your page? Do you want them to actually be purchasing something from your business? You really have to know that before you set up this campaign. Otherwise, you're not going to have any success really to measure.
Definitely. Along that same vein, when you are setting up a marketplace ad, Facebook gives you two options. One is to market something that you have inside of Facebook, and one is to market something you have outside of Facebook. So really knowing what you want your audience to do is important. Are you trying to drive them back to your Facebook page or maybe to a website? So it's important to understand that before you start building your ad.
Definitely. Hopefully that clarified things rather than make them more confusing. YouTube. I really want to point out before we jump into YouTube, we are barely scratching the surface with this. There are tremendous opportunities for advertisers in YouTube, but of course we have to get through this content as quickly as possible. So we're going to go over roughly what's possible and how much it costs. I think the easiest way to wrap your brain around what's possible in YouTube is to break out your targeting options in terms of audience targeting and content targeting. So you really have to determine, do I want to choose a specific audience who I want to serve my video content to, or do I want to serve advertisements against or with or beside specific video content that already exists? So if you jump into audience targeting, so if I want to serve up a specific video for my business to a specific audience, here's what I can choose from. I can target them based on their demographic information, which on YouTube, that is just age and gender. Those are the only options you have. The other chance you have is to target users based on where they're at. You can choose specific countries, states, DMAs, or zip codes. DMAs, if anybody's not clear, I think the easiest way to think about that is a radio or a television broadcast area. So, for example, in Michigan, that would be the Detroit area, Saginaw, Flint area. You can also target audiences based on the language that they have their YouTube profile or page set up as. Interest categories. This is interesting. It's actually based on a user's past video viewing behavior. So YouTube obviously is gathering data on the videos that you are watching, and advertisers can then target people who are, for example, auto enthusiasts, moms, depending on what they've been watching. And the other thing is user type. When you set up a YouTube page, if I'm actually going to go out as a user and upload a video, I have to declare what I am. Am I a director, a musician, a comedian, politician, a partner? We're going to get into partners in a couple of slides here to explain that further. So this is audience targeting in a nutshell. If I want to select specific people to serve my video content, these are the options that I have.
Now, YouTube is a Google property, and the targeting options are much fewer than what you have available in Facebook.
The second option is content targeting. And again, the easiest way to think about this is if I want to actually serve a display ad, I'm going to try to target that to specific content that already exists on YouTube. So I can do keyword targeting, and that's going to be related to, obviously, search terms or specific to video content. Video category and content pack. This is really set up by YouTube. They've got over 1,000 different video categories that they've determined. So examples there, you can see baseball videos, hairstyling videos, business videos, and I can also choose to target my ad within specific what YouTube calls content packs. And those are bundled channel collections. So let's say I wanted to run an advertisement for the Home Depot on numerous DIY type channels. I could do that through YouTube. And that way I'm not having to choose a specific category. I can choose numerous channels. You can also target your ad to an individual video. If you want to run your ad
on the rainbow,
on the double rainbow video, and that's it, you can do that. You can also target your advertisement to a specific channel. So if I wanted to run my ad exclusively on
Antoine Dodson's YouTube channel.
Thank you, Maureen. I could do that. The last sort of controversial option you have for content targeting in YouTube is what they call buzz targeting. You brought up the double rainbow video. I think that was good. This will allow you to make sure that your ad is serving aligned with the most popular
what's hot
YouTube video. Now, you don't have any control over what the content of that video might be, but you're going to ensure that you're getting a lot of eyes.
Well, and you've got to be careful because you may not want your brand associated with certain things that may be, buzzworthy on YouTube. It's hard to say.
Yeah, it's definitely something to be wary of. Really, no matter what your brand is. Usually I say unless you market toilet paper, but I guess even that could fall in a bad spot. But
why, yes, it could.
If you are going for maximum eyes, that's a good option. This slide really is just meant to provide a very quick overview of types of advertising that's possible. So if I'm looking to promote my content, I can do promoted videos, which we're going to go into a little bit further. I can also run true view video ads. That's actually one of the newest formats of advertising on YouTube. And there are a couple of features of true view video ads that are unique. They're in-stream ads, so you can choose to run them in advance of a video or in the middle of a video if it's a longer video. And basically what happens is the advertiser is only going to pay if a user actually clicks on and engages with that ad for either, I believe it's 5 seconds. So after 5 seconds, the user can say, I want to continue watching this ad or I want to skip it. If they skip the ad, the advertiser does not have to pay for that ad.
Are these the true view? Are these the ones that are actually inserted prior to viewing a video, or are these video overlays or some sort of takeover?
This is not an overlay or a takeover. You're absolutely right. It's what you would see before a video or in the middle of a video.
Yeah. And
so it will come up, and 5 seconds after the ad starts, it's going to be a video ad. 5 seconds after it starts, you're going to have the opportunity to say, I want to continue watching this ad or I want to skip it. Hopefully that clarified that. You can also do inflate ads as a part of the True View video ads. That means if you, as a user, are about to watch a longer video on YouTube, so say 10 minutes or more, you're going to get a screen before the video starts. It's going to have 3 or 4 advertisements on it targeted to you, and you have the option. You can select an ad and watch it right then and there, and you can then watch the video you were intending uninterrupted. Or if you do not select an ad to watch, you then will be served ads throughout the video experience. So hopefully that's clear.
So you will be punished if you don't watch it.
Absolutely. But as an advertiser, it gives the audience that you're targeting a little bit of choice depending on what you're running on, which hopefully I know the hope on YouTube's behalf is that they're hitting as an advertiser, you're hitting a more engaged audience.
Mm-hmm.
The other option you have is a brand channel. We're going to get into that, and then homepage display ads. And then also, if you want to align yourself with specific content on YouTube, they have what's called a partner watch. We'll go into that a little bit, hopefully in later slides. And then also video targeting, which we talked about, and mobile advertising options. Promoted videos, again, if you want to run your video. These are very affordable. They're scalable. You can run this on a smaller budget. You can run it on a very large budget. And again, these are based on search parameters. So these are contextually targeted. And if I'm a user and I go into YouTube and I'm searching for, what did I search for these slides? Organic lawn care. I could be served a video that is actually promoted very similar to Google PPC ads. So
and here we have it.
Here you have it. I actually went into YouTube and searched for organic lawn care. And here you can see on the right-hand side of the page, again, very similar to Google, I'm being served these promoted videos. I believe it was Manta promoting a video about their tiller, which came up. And then also there was another video advertisement for a company called Ventrac. So that's a screenshot of what these look like. These are contextually targeted, and they're set up really on a bid-based pricing model. Brand channel. I feel like I'm talking a lot. Does anyone else want to jump in here? No?
You're on a roll. We got to get through these. We have to share the information so we can answer questions.
Okay, perfect. This is an example of a branded channel on YouTube. It's important to point out that you do have a little bit of control over what your YouTube page looks like. This, I'm going to point out the differences between just changing the color of your background and uploading your logo and an actual branded channel. That's what we're looking at. This is Carl's Jr., their branded channel. At the top here, circled in blue, you can't tell because they really seamlessly integrated it with their background. This is actually a banner ad, so I could click to a different web property from that. What looks like a background and enter to win the Black Beauty. If you scroll a little bit further down their page, they have a whole interactive console. They're actually using it right now to showcase different videos. And if you scroll even further down their page, you can see they've got another very similar to a banner advertisement, which you can click through. And here it said, click for a chance to win the Black Beauty. Wanted to point this out. I thought it was great. They are actually linking that to their Facebook page where they have a custom tab open where you can actually enter that content. So very integrated, very good.
Carl's Jr. has done a great job. I mean, we've used their social media channels in the past for examples to share, and they've got it going on.
Yeah, they definitely do. Last but not least, you can see here, these are display ads running on YouTube's homepage. You have to have a pretty large budget to do this. Here you can see an example. You can also run what's called an expandable masthead. So this ad would actually drop down. It could play the video right there. And you can do what they call a tandem masthead. So I would also have a square advertisement on the YouTube homepage in addition to that masthead that you see there. Again, this requires a sizable budget to run videos on YouTube homepage. Will it break the bank?
Yeah.
On the homepage it will. Not everything on YouTube won't. For example, the promoted videos, which we went through, that's bid-based. That's very scalable. You can do that with a relatively limited, reasonable budget. If you've got a bigger budget trying to reach a bigger audience, you could look at a minimum of a $250,000 spend, which I believe is what it is for the branded channel, which we pointed out.
The Carl's Jr. was a branded channel.
Correct. Last but not least, LinkedIn. We get a lot of questions, especially from B2B marketers, about LinkedIn. I think it's important to point out before we jump too far into this that it's not just for B2B marketers. These are still people logging into LinkedIn. So you can talk to me on LinkedIn about, business and the company that I work for. You can also talk to me about my personal needs, maybe a nice watch, a new car.
It is geared more towards business, though. I mean, when you go in there, it is about setting up a business presence for yourself, networking with other people in business.
Absolutely.
And so I think that's why it's kind of got that association. I mean, people think it's for B2B marketing, and really it's used a lot for recruiting and networking and a lot of other types of promoting within it.
Absolutely. Lots of questions about who is actually using LinkedIn. To continue that end of your discussion, they have about 90 million members across the globe. Roughly 32 million of those are U.S. based. And here you can see I gave a quick breakdown of the title. So 1.5 million C-level executives, 12 million small business professionals, 1.3 million small business owners. So it is a very much, it's set up to be a business geared social network. Again, here you go. Business oriented social networking site is very much based on connections. I can't just go through. This isn't Hoover. It's not just a database of who works where, what's their title, how much is that company worth. They really try to make this a social networking site whereby I'm connecting with people that I trust and have business relationships with.
I want to ask a quick question here. Is it possible, Maureen, this is one I don't know, is it possible to set up a Facebook feed to feed into LinkedIn these days?
I'm not sure about that, but I'll look into it for you.
Okay. Well, I'm just thinking that would be a good way, because I think given the choice, people aren't going to log into LinkedIn to communicate with colleagues. They're likely going to be logging into Facebook, and if they're communicating with colleagues, they'll do it through Facebook. So how do you share that content across, or how do you keep your LinkedIn channel viable? And that's a different topic, but
I do know you can integrate your Twitter feed.
Yeah.
So you may be able to. Another good component of LinkedIn is actually LinkedIn Answers. This is very similar, ironically enough, to Yahoo Answers. I think most people are familiar with that, whereby if you have a question, you can go in and various users can answer it for you. LinkedIn Groups is another very popular feature of LinkedIn. And I put this up here again just to stress the fact that they really try to take this, what they call a gated access approach. This isn't a database of executives. This is not meant to be used as a Hoover. They really are trying to build connections and trust and start those conversations as we discussed. Targeting options, we're going to talk about LinkedIn direct ads. I'll show those in a few slides. The targeting options, for those, you can target users based on company size, job function, industry, seniority, gender, age, and geography. You can only choose for one specific ad up to 4 of those categories. And then you can see some of those give you the opportunity to choose more than one, if that makes sense. In addition, you can choose to run your direct ads exclusively on LinkedIn, or you can opt to incorporate the LinkedIn Audience Network. Basically what that is LinkedIn has partnered with other professional sites, and they will actually serve your ads to LinkedIn members who fall within the realm of your targeting parameters on some of the sites that they've partnered with, like the New York Times, Business Week, MSNBC. Here's what a LinkedIn direct ad looks like. As you can see here, this is actually sort of my main dashboard in LinkedIn. You can see up here, there's going to be a headline, a line of text, an image.
And I also want to point out that there's also a line that says from. That will either be the person's name who has uploaded that ad, or you can also put a company there, but it has to be one of those two things.
So if I were to run an ad through our LinkedIn page, my name personally is going to appear under our ad.
Correct. Or you can also choose to have our business name, Oneupweb, appear under there.
Right.
But you can't get around that. That's a good point. We get a lot of questions about how do you make that go away. You can't. It has to be there. So here you can see I'm actually in somebody's profile, and you can see the ads are still appearing there on the right-hand side of the screen. How much? There's a $10 a day minimum budget to run LinkedIn direct ads. You really, on LinkedIn, though, have to make sure that you're allowing for a little bit of overrun. If your budget is only $10 a day, probably not a good idea because it could cost you $20.
There's also a one-time $5 activation fee. So the first time you set up an ad, it'll be an extra $5. Please drive through.
Because you need to be active.
So again, those are LinkedIn direct ads, probably the most scalable, one of the most popular forms of advertising that LinkedIn is offering right now. You have the opportunity to get really targeted within LinkedIn, which we went over, and this can fit pretty much any budget. If you have a bigger budget, you can also run banner advertisements on LinkedIn. If you've used LinkedIn a lot, I'm sure you've seen these. You can do a homepage takeover. That would mean every ad space available on the homepage for LinkedIn would be consumed by your brand. You can run content ads. This is sort of interesting. You see, you were asking about streaming the Facebook feed or Twitter feeds, and you can actually run an ad very similar to a banner advertisement, but you can have it in live time dynamically feed your Twitter feed or something like that. So it would look like an advertisement, but would be automatically updating with that content. You can run recommendation ads. That would be an advertisement. For example, if we were running one for Oneupweb, if my goal was to gain endorsements for our page, you can actually see on that ad how many people endorse our brand, and it's actually soliciting more endorsements. And you can also do custom white paper distribution. So if you have thought leadership that you want to distribute to a specific audience, you can do it this way. Here's a really quick example. This is a LinkedIn Answers page. Here you can see I'm in the startups and the small business category. This is actually sponsored by Best Buy. I know that's really difficult to see, but that's something that you can pay to do. They have a relatively new app feature. So you can work with LinkedIn to actually build an application that users can integrate into their profile. So to your so maybe Facebook needs to do this. This is an example that Amazon has created. It's actually the reading list application. This would allow me as a user to incorporate this into my profile so I could show you what I'm reading. And of course, that would link through so that you could purchase that on Amazon. So kind of interesting. Again, much larger budget than LinkedIn direct ads. And then last but not least, we've got partner messages. This allows you to actually send a message to users' inbox. So from Oneupweb to whatever users I had selected that fall within specific targeting categories. This is an example of one I received from Red Bull. And you can see here it also goes to really a custom LinkedIn sort of landing page. So that's an expensive option, but very direct.
Wow.
I did it.
Carly, I'm impressed. We have about 15 minutes left for Q&A. Here on this particular screen, before we forget about it, I want to mention that we do have a monthly newsletter that is free. You can subscribe to it called The Merge. This is a monthly continuation of the magazine that we put out last year, but lots of good content specific to a certain area, whether it be web design, social media, search, etc. So each month we're covering those topics. So you can go to oneupweb.com and subscribe to that monthly newsletter. And we're going to jump into some questions now. We have a number of them queued up. We apologize in advance for those of you that we can't get to your question, but we'll do our best.
Wow, we have a lot of questions.
Okay, let's start with number one.
The first question I see here is, should you log into your Facebook page through your page and not your personal profile? Yes.
Well, under what circumstances? I mean, what are we trying to accomplish?
Well, Facebook lets you set up a page two ways. First, you can set one up through a personal profile. However, you are not required to have a personal profile to set up a page. You can set it up under a business profile. There are two ways of looking at this. When you do log in through your personal profile, you are given, access to all of the insights, everything like that. If you log in through your business profile, you're given the same thing. The reason why I say to log in through your business profile is because of liability. You don't have to worry about who's an administrator on this page that went in and accidentally hit this button or mistyped this word, something like that. You have complete control when it's coming through your business page, and it's just, for liability's sake, I would say that's how you should be doing it.
Good answer. Somebody scroll. No. Here's a good question. If my goal on Facebook is to let people know about events we're hosting in our wine tasting room in Traverse City, or events that we're a part of, what method of paid advertising would you recommend to acquire more fans on Facebook? Or more fans specifically interested in wine?
All right. If you are looking to target just people in Traverse City, I would set up one of those Facebook Marketplace ads. I would specifically target the Traverse City area, maybe within 50 miles. And you can also target people who are interested in wine. You can even target people who are interested in certain kinds of wines if you're known for, say, a Pinot Noir or something like that.
Another good way, and this falls outside of paying for it, but a Twitter account, we've used those in the past to put tweets out there to push people to a Facebook page to promote a particular event. So those two things together would probably help improve that.
Okay, next
here's a good question. Are there stats on Facebook to measure the effectiveness of your advertising? Yes, Facebook does provide analytics. They're pretty in-depth, and they're in real time. So you can go in and see how many people have clicked on your ad, how many impressions you have, how many of those social connection impressions that you have, and you can make changes to your ads in real time.
Isn't it called Facebook Insights?
Yes.
Here's another good question that came through. Somebody asked, if I decide on YouTube to run an ad specific to, for example, the Double Rainbow video, is the Double Rainbow guy going to make money off of my advertising there? I'm 99% certain the answer is no. Does anyone disagree with me?
That's a good question, because I think that you can put ads up on, or put video content up on YouTube and create an agreement with Google to get paid per view on that ad. It's almost like in Google, the content network. If I allow Google to place ads on my website, I get a portion of that. Now, it's funny that gets asked about YouTube, and I'm not certain, but I believe that it's possible to get paid.
Lindsay, that's a good question, and we'll check into that for you. I'll make sure. I actually think that might be part of their partner program with.
Yeah.
I skimmed over and spent that. So.
Well, and how are we going to post that response? How is she going to?
I'll have her email.
Okay.
Somebody asked, how do you go about getting a branded channel on YouTube if you already have a YouTube account?
Well, to get a branded channel on YouTube, basically you have to be an advertiser. If you're an advertiser, then you'll have an ad rep, and all you have to do is ask them for it.
Easy.
Somebody asked, in terms of creative design, does Facebook link or LinkedIn offer the design services, or is that up to the agency? I'm assuming they're talking about the image associated with the ad. I'm not certain. I don't believe so. No.
You have to create them.
You definitely have to create the image yourself.
Is there a limit on Facebook as to how many demographics you can target for an ad?
No, there is no limit. All of the fields that we mentioned are open to all of the ads that you set up on the marketplace, and you can get as targeted as you want.
Another question that we had that came in is, what is the difference between a group and a page on Facebook?
Okay. A business page, think of that as your website on Facebook. That is your business. That's where you should be as a business. That's where people are going to come in and interact with you. That's where you're going to interact with them. You can set up custom tabs. You can really make that business page your own. A group, on the other hand, can be set up by anyone, and you invite people to participate in your group. These can either be public or you can set them to private, but they're really more for conversations around a specific interest. I'm in a marketing group, for instance, but I definitely still want to have my own Oneupweb business page as well.
Somebody asked us to spend a little bit more time explaining the difference between Facebook Marketplace ads and a premium ad. And they said, I set up an ad campaign in Facebook, that means it's premium, right? That does not mean.
So I think that the easiest way to be able to differentiate between what a Facebook Marketplace ad is and a Facebook premium ad is, if you went into Facebook and set up the ad on your own, that's a marketplace ad. If you are spending more than $10,000 a month and you have a Facebook ad rep, odds are likely that you're running premium ads.
Somebody also asked, is Facebook Marketplace or homepage ads can handle rich media? Marketplace ads cannot.
Marketplace ads cannot. Facebook homepage premium ads can. In fact, one of the most popular premium ads that you'll run across on your homepage is a video ad. A lot of movie companies will run these where you can actually view a trailer. And what will happen is you'll see that in your news feed on the right-hand side column. You can click on that, and it will open automatically without navigating you away from the page. You can interact with that ad by liking it, by voting on it if that's what it requires, and then you can close it out, and you won't lose your spot in your own homepage news feed.
Good answer. Is it acceptable to market your company or products on LinkedIn, or do people find it annoying since it's more about being a site to connect with fellow business people? That's a good question. If you are running paid advertisements on LinkedIn, so you're doing this the correct way, it's the same as any banner advertising. If you're really targeting your audience with something that's relevant to their interests, it's not necessarily going to be an annoyance.
I think it's acceptable. I mean, it's become a part of our world. I mean, you're going to see paid ads on just about every major portal or search engine there is these days. So having ads displayed in a sponsored section is perfectly acceptable. What's not okay on LinkedIn and what people get irritated with is when they receive in-mail or unsolicited email or communications that they didn't want. And so that's probably going to be more damaging to your brand.
Or connection requests from somebody who just wants to market their product and I don't really know them or trust them.
Correct.
That's when you're going to be crossing the line. Does setting up a business page on Facebook cost money?
No, it does not. That is free.
Do I have any way to know what time my Facebook Marketplace ad will run during a day's period?
That's a good question. Right now, if you're setting up a marketplace ad, I do not believe that there are any day parting options. You're targeting more to the people and not so much to the time when they get on Facebook.
Let's see. Is there any circumstance where a Facebook ad could appear on Flipboard? I'm not certain I understand that question.
I'm certain I don't.
Moving along.
Can a business set up more than one fan page for their business, and do you think this is a good idea? I think that's a good question.
You can set up more than one business page. For instance, if you are a company and say you sell class rings and yearbooks and graduation gear, you might wonder, should I have 3 separate Facebook pages or should I have one? My personal preference is to just have one. Keep that brand cohesive. When people search for your page, let them find the one page. You can set up custom tabs for each of those different products, and I really think that's a much better way to go.
It might be more acceptable with a parent company that has, numerous brands under its umbrella. But, we try to, in most cases, keep that on behalf of our clients pretty brand-centric and not split it up too much. Because then, if you've got it set up as your brand as your primary page, then all of those friends or fans that you're getting are going to see all of your information. You don't have to worry about pushing them to your other Facebook pages and getting them to like those pages as well. Okay.
There was one question on here that I sort of avoided because it launches a big conversation, but inevitably it comes in every time. How do you measure ROI on Facebook?
Good question.
Well, we've been tackling that internally, so it's pretty top of mind.
If you're looking to measure the effectiveness of your ads, the Facebook Ads Dashboard does provide those analytics. Also, if you have a business page on Facebook, Facebook has what's called Facebook Insights. These are now in real time. They'll show you how many people are coming to your page, how many people are clicking on your link, how many fans you're getting, how many fans you're losing, all sorts of things. This is really important to be monitoring this on probably a weekly and a monthly basis. And then also if you're using any other sort of analytics to be able to see maybe how many people Facebook is driving to your site, or even if you have the ability to track, if you put up a link and someone were to follow that link and make a purchase on your site, you should be tracking that as well.
I'm going to, our time is up.
It is.
It flew by. Yeah, I appreciate everyone taking the time out of their schedule today to join us for this webinar. Unfortunately, there's a lot of information to go through in a short period of time to do it. We've scratched the surface and hopefully given you some sense of what might be effective for your business. If you need help, feel free to give us a call. We're in the business. So a couple of ways you can connect with us at Oneupweb, facebook.com/Oneupweb. That is our Facebook page. You can also follow us on Twitter, twitter.com/Oneupweb. Again, this presentation will be available next week for you to download and view at the Digital Roadshow subdomain, digitalroadshow.oneupweb.com. So feel free to visit back next week and you can take a look at that. Again, I'm Lisa Weir. I appreciate Carly and Maureen joining us today. And in fact, Carly flying through all of this content for us, and Maureen, our social media guru who knows all of the ins and outs about this form of advertising. Appreciate it. And I think that's it. So we'll see you next month sometime. Have a great month.
Thank you.